Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Speak Your Mind with Larry Cox show. And it is great to have each and every one of you joining me this evening. And I will be saying hello to everyone who has joined me in the chat today. And then we will also give some other people an opportunity to come on and see what's going on. I really didn't advertise the show today on Facebook, with it being Father's Day. I thought I would just whoever decided to show up today, that's who would show up, and I'd be okay with that. So just great to have all of you here tonight, and thank you for joining me. If you guys see, I got the little thing rolling across the screen now. Speak Your Mind with host Larry Cox. So I'll do some different little messages moving forward, as now I have figured out how to use the ticker. So my advances in technology never cease to amaze me as I become more technologically savvy as the days go. So let me start off by saying hello to my friends who have joined me. Cheryl Moulton, great to have you here. My good friend Justin Kinney has joined the show tonight. William Bill Campbell, thanks for joining the show. Charlotte Gellert, thanks for joining the show. Mary Boysworth, thank you for being here. And Luca Russo, thank you for being here. And thank you for everyone who has happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there and such. And we appreciate all you guys coming on, watching the show tonight. And it's been so we're in trouble now. How are we in trouble now, Mary? Gotta explain how we're in trouble. I don't think we're in trouble because I know how to use the ticker. Yeah, could be in trouble now that I know how to use the ticker. That could be an interesting thing now that I know how to use that ticker. I can put messages up there and let it flash the whole time and such and everything. It'll be wild and crazy. So I am excited about using the ticker. So thanks, guys, and let's talk about a few things here. First thing I want to talk about tonight is, well, first of all, let me just say what's up. Well, hey, Alex, good evening. Thanks for joining me. What I'd like for you guys to do is think about what you'd like to talk about in the chat. Go ahead and start throwing that stuff out there. So we're going to do one of our let you pick the topic nights, and we'll discuss the topics that you throw out there in the chat. I like doing these type shows when you guys throw the topics out there, and we get what's on your mind, and let's talk about it. So first thing I'd like to talk about is I went to the City of Conyers final concert series last night, and it was interesting, right? So it was crazy, right? So we go to that page. Go to the show first, and a little bit of drizzle, a little bit of cloud cover. It went away. So we got to watch the opening act, Edgewood Heavy. Nice blues, jazzy, soulful music. I would describe it. They were really good. And then we came to the Purple experience there with the Prince impersonator. Got about 2 songs in, and as he said, 100% chance of Purple Rain. So the rain just plummeted, and the lightning. So we evacuated the area, left, but it has been crazy all year, right? So for months, every weekend it's rained. For months, on every weekend it has rained. So why would it be any different? So I think toward the end of the month, the county starts their concert series. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they have moved that concert series from Costly Meal, which his name is appropriately Costly Meal. It definitely cost us more than it's worth having. So Costly Meal, we've moved that concert series to Parker Road. The most valuable underutilized piece of property in Rockdale County, in my opinion. Hell, it's not even my opinion. That's a fact. It is the most valuable, underutilized piece of property probably in the metro Atlanta area. if one would have to be real about it. And that's something I don't even think a change of administration has helped us with. That property still being underutilized with pickleball and this park nonsense. Come on, guys. Let's do something with that property that makes sense. Pickleball and shuffleboard and whatever nonsense you got over there. Let's just get real and do something proactive with that. It's just ridiculous, totally ridiculous, in my opinion. Not even it's not even my opinion. It's a daggone fact. That's just underutilization and a waste of space. And they'll say, "Well, we've got all this property over there. Give me 15 minutes in a bulldozer, and none of that crap would be there." 15 minutes in a bulldozer, and you don't have to worry about any of that nonsense being over there anymore. And that's reality, and that's a fact for you. Just saying, guys. I'm a little bit, I don't know. I think I'm a little perturbed tonight. I don't know why. It's interesting. Costly meal, $480,000 in debt. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Bill Campbell, he wants to talk about the Rockdale County's extremely high salaries. So I agree with you. We can talk about that. Rockdale County's extremely high salaries. I do believe that for a county our size, that we might have some inflated salaries. And then we add some positions that are not very effective and don't really need. See. Ruth Ann Kelvy, good evening. Thanks for the Father's Day to everybody. And you got an important you got an important job. That's right. Fathers do have an important job. And Cheryl Moulton said we're coming off a full moon. So can you think that explains my salty attitude? Distraction-Free Education Act. Yes, Justin, I actually was intending on discussing that, and thank you for bringing that up. But what do you guys think about the salaries for the Rockdale County government? Do you think they're too high? Do you think that they're proportionate for what we call it could be competitive in the area, or should we worry about being competitive in the area? So, I mean, what's your opinion about it? And I am going to go over to the Distraction-Free Education Act. So, for what you guys don't know, the legislature passed legislation this year that we would have a distraction-free education for ages K through 8, and that would pertaining to electrical devices, right? So that would be cell phones, laptops, headphones, buds, all that kind of stuff. So K through 8 will not be allowed to have those things. And the legislation reads that you have to have a plan in place by this coming January, and by next July it has to go into place. Well, the Rockdale County Board of Education led by the efforts of Superintendent Shirley Chesser, have decided to implement that policy a year ahead of time. The Rockdale County Public School System will be implementing that at the beginning of this school year, August 4th. We've expanded that to pre-K. So we will have pre-K to grade 8 will be distraction free, and they will be developing a process and a policy with Yonder pouches. And the Yonder pouches, the phones will be secured and locked in the Yonder pouch, which will secure it, prevent the students from being able to get a signal to use them, and they'll be locked away. And they will be locked away from bell to bell, and at the end of the school day, the students will be able to have those Yonder patches unlocked, turn the pouch in, and take their phone and go on their merry ways home. But they will not be able to use those phones during the day. And people have asked, what do you think of, what about if there's an emergency? Well, the legislation and Board Member Kenny and I looked at this because we thought the legislation had made some provision for emergencies or whatever. The legislation only stated that the districts must provide a communications method between the parents and the students during the day if they need to get a hold of them. and that's what what it stated. So there is no provision in the legislation for access during an emergency situation. It's just that parents must be given a viable way to communicate with their children during the day if they need to, and that way will be the same way that with many of you attended school as when I attended school, and that's through the office. You leave a message at the office, and the kid will get it. If they have to reach back out to their parent, then they go to the office and they do that through the office. But people say, well, they don't like it, whatever. Well, let's just talk about that a second, right? That's state law. So there will be no choice but for any school district to implement this by next July. Rockdale County getting ahead of it, implementing it this year, we'll be able to work out any deficiency or bugs in the process by next year when it has to be fully implemented. So we are implementing it now. We're going to work through the bugs, make sure it's something that that we have a good grip on. And then to be honest with you, I'm one member of the board who hopes to see this expand through 9 through 12. I think the distraction-free classroom needs to go all the way through the educational system. So I think this is something we allowed in the early 2000s through the mid-teens, to fester in the school system, and people got accustomed to it. So having that cell phone and that access to it is like crack to people now. If they got to have their crack. So it's a habit that has been formed, and it's going to take time to undo that habit. So yes, Charlotte, it was an unfunded mandate, but Rockdale County fortunately is a county that has SPLOST funding, and those pouches, the purchase, it would be something that falls within the parameters of being able to use SPLOST funding to do that. So that will not come out of the general budget. So we are very fortunate to be able to do that. And as you do know, just as the county experiences overages with SPLOST funds, so does the county, and this will not harm us in any way or take away from any other project that we planned on with SPLOST. So I think that is going to be a great thing for us that we have that. So that will work well. So I just think that's going to be a great process. So going back to Samantha, they have the phones in the rooms. So if somebody has to reach something, they call the office, and the office lets the teacher know where that student is, that they have a message, or if they need to speak to a parent. I mean, the policy will be clear by the time we start school. So, and like I'm saying, it'll be a policy that we start with and get to work through. So that's what I think we'll go. Cheryl Mathis, if there's an emergency going on, the thing that I would be as a parent, which I am a parent. I am raising a grandchild, and I have a grandchild in school. The first thing I want them to do is make sure my grandchild is safe. I want them to make sure that they have secured her in a safe area, and if cell phones and ringing cell phones and people talking on cell phones would be noise and giving locations away for a potential gunman, then I would rather we do training about let's keep quiet, let's keep still, let's not have these devices making noise and giving locations away. I look at it a totally different way. Sorry if I do, but I mean, that's just my outlook on it. Corliss Turner, East Blast, yes. So, I mean, I think, and when we look at this, and there have been school districts across the country, and even school districts, Marietta School District, Marietta City School District, they've accomplished this, and just the results that they've had with what the distraction-free school looks like, it's just phenomenal. the difference that it makes what our kids are learning, and how it's taken away from distracting from their education. So, like I said, it's something that's going to take people a little bit of time to get used to. And Thank you, Samantha. And I was going to talk about that. So, the devices make noises. Students make posts where they are, what is happening, incorrect info, and rumors. I have a good friend of mine, and his daughter was attending Appalachia at the time of the shooting up there this past year. And his daughter and her friends were doing some posting, and my friend told her to immediately stop posting because she was posting stuff that he didn't feel was appropriate. Uh, some of it he felt could have been inaccurate, and he told his daughter to stop posting. Um, so that's where you've got to look at. It's it's something that that I think it is going to benefit education. We all talk about how do we get students reading and writing better? How do we improve education in our school system? This is one of the ways that we improve education, by putting the focus back on learning instead of these devices. So when you ask for us to improve education, and we take steps that you might not like, but it's going to improve education, sometimes you got to live with the consequences of improving education. And people are not going to like this for a while, but they will get accustomed to it. It will become the new normal in a few years. People might not like it now, but in a few years, it will be the new normal, and it'll be okay. And that's fine. And if then this is an issue that I don't get reelected over in a few years, then so be it. It's fine because this will be something that I think that we will do that will help education in Rockdale County. And as far as K-8, it is mandated by state law, and you're not going to get away out of it because it is mandated by state law to have a distraction-free classroom from electronic devices, and that's what it needs to happen, and I agree with it. So there's a few things that people mentioned in the thing, right? So Alex mentioned about the former chairman putting some things on um, Facebook referring to what's going on as far as from his former heydays in the political service and everything. Alex, that is interesting. And we've had conversations about that, and I'm looking forward to even knowing a little more about that. And some of the softwares that we buy and use are interactive, where the teacher controls it, and it is interactive. And I got to go to the classrooms and see them being used, and was very impressed with it. So yeah, I think if used properly, AI will be a great resource for students and educators. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing the progress we make and how we decide to utilize AI in educating our youth. So yeah, stand by with that, and let's see how that progresses as it happens. So Samantha, brought a good point up. I want to, so 100% plus this will hopefully positively impact student-teacher relationships. So much stress happens when it comes to teachers having to address phones in the kids' classroom. So this is the thing about it. The process Rockdale County is going to put into place with these yonder bags. Kids get to keep their phones. Everybody's taking their phone. It's just not going to work. It's going to be inactive. So, and one of the things when discussing this with the superintendent and other staff is the system that we're going to use. They get to keep their phone. It's not locked away, and we're not responsible for the phone. So they can't come at the school system for that knowing. and that's interesting, right? So, but we'll see. Um, she said, Samantha, I understand some people didn't get the word for hours or whatever, and that's making sure that you have a good emergency response system. I know in Rockdale County that would not be the such, because every parent would immediately get a text or a phone call, an update. So I just find that hard to believe they weren't notified. So I mean, they're going to have to show me they weren't notified, because I tell you, in Rockdale County, I know that wouldn't have happened. So I would beg to differ that occurred. Just beg to differ. Just in my opinion, knowing how these responses work from the school system, what communication mechanisms that are in place and such. If you didn't check your text or your emails or your phone, you might not have been notified. But I think if you did, you got a notification of what was going on. So that was what I think it happened. And Samantha, getting to keep their phones on them. So they get to keep their phones on them, and that you won't hear this. Well, somebody stole my phone. Somebody took my phone. You're responsible for the upkeep and safety of your phone during the day. It's just locked and secured, and you can't use it. And that needs to happen so that we can have that distraction free. And that's what's going to happen. So Alex, I'm going to go back to what he talked about for a second about the chairman and the post and what's going on. And I've heard speculation that the chairman is looking at reviving his political career and running for office again. And you know what? So be it. I mean, everybody has a right to do that and attempt to come back and run for office again, because let's be real, the chairman was a very successful politician in Rockdale County for close to 2 decades. And what makes us think that he doesn't have an opportunity to come back and run for office and succeed? It could happen. I mean, I think we all saw a very public display of that nationally with Donald Trump. Counted out going to prison, but 47. I'm just, being real, and I think, the chairman, Chairman Nesbitt, who knows? I mean, who knows what lays out there and what the possibilities are with an electorate in 2 years. And especially, you do not know what the people of this county are going to think of the job that is going to be done by this administration now. They may like it. They may not like it. I personally think one of the things that was an albatross around Chairman Nesbitt's neck is going to be the same albatross that's around this current administration's neck, and that's that courthouse debacle. That thing is not going to get any better. It's going to be worse. And as that develops, that's going to be a soreness with this community. They don't like it. And let's see what happens, because, let's be honest, right? The part of the campaign that was run this past time, they used that as a campaign issue. Then with the clean up the mess thing, people had an assumption that part of cleaning up the mess was taking care of the courthouse debacle, not just pushing it through and saying you can't do anything about it. Talked to a lot of people who aren't happy about that. So we'll just see what happens. I mean, dude, I'm just telling you, it's an interesting cycle. Politics is an interesting thing, because you never know what the electorate is going to do in any given election and how they're going to react to these things. So, Tom says he agrees the school system should not be allowed to allow schools. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, and and I even watched a clip on it, and it was like it was handled poorly in the inception, in the mid 2000s and in the teens, the 10 through 20, 10 through 19. We handled it badly. We created policy We didn't enforce it, and it just got to be the norm that they kept these devices and they were just did what they wanted with them. We handled integrating the technology poorly into the educational system. And that's the reality of what happened. We handled it poorly, and now we're paying the price for it. But you don't continue to allow something that's negatively impacting education to continue. You must correct that course. People are demanding that we do better in education. People are demanding that we do better. So in order to do better, that's one of the things we have to do, a course correction. We have to behave better. We have to look at things, deal with them, and not ignore them. And when we're able to do that, then we will see progress. We will see things change, and we're going to see progress and improvement in education with this step that we're taking right now. And like I said, the K through 8 is a great step, but we really need to do it 9 through 12 to make those impacts and differences there. So that's what I believe. And Corliss, you're right. It's more than the courthouse with this new administration building. Like I say, I call it an administration building with a side of courthouse, and that's just what it is to me. Because I don't think we're really dealing with the issues that we said were the problem with why we needed a courthouse complex. When all we're doing is dealing with creating an administrative thing and doing some repairs to an existing courthouse and a little bit of extension. Come on, get real. That's what I believe. Miss Russo, you're 100%. I was having this conversation with a couple of people today. Our big problem in Rockdale County is our residential to business tax ratio. So we have the 65% residential, 35% business. And what did we do? We've created an even more skewed system when we've approved all of these apartments and townhomes. When you say, well, it's not that big and we can still have business. Well, when you're taking the available land, because remember, Rockdale County, finite, second smallest landmass county in the state of Georgia. So when you take what available land there is that's prime for building, which has sewer and water capabilities, and you build townhomes and apartments there, you're taking land away that could have been utilized for a business expansion or business growth, because we can't grow land. You cannot grow land. It is not possible. So when you do that, you are expanding the residential forever, and you are forever reducing the ability for business percent to increase, because you've taken land that could have gone toward business increase and you've increased residential with it. So, I mean, it was just, not good planning, not good investment. And it was haphazard. So that's the way I look at it, right? So Cheryl Moulton, campaign promises. And Vukarusa, 2 more business locations got bought by the county. Cheryl Garcia, he's working for the ACCG. Well, that's what they do. They go to work for the ACCG, and superintendents go to work for the Georgia School Board Association. That's what they do, right? They go work for those lobbyist organizations. So, I mean, that's what happens. And then Cheryl Moulton had said campaign promises, And Corliss Turner said there are voter promises too. And the voters of Rockdale County promised, if you don't listen to us, you're gone too. that's what the voters of Rockdale County actually said and sent a message. We want change. We're going to give you an opportunity to bring about change. If you don't bring the change, then we change you. That's what the voters said. 100%. That's what the voters said. So, I'm just saying, we live in interesting political times. We live in a time that I believe where we have shows like this, we have social media, we have people that do their investigating and they know what's going on, and we have instant access to what's going on. You can't shuck and jive the people of society anymore because they know the truth and they know what's happening. So I find it interesting, and we're going to have an interesting campaign. We'll have an interesting campaign next year in 26, and we'll have an interesting campaign cycle in 28. And I'm looking forward to both. With it being Father's Day and us we had a spirited little show tonight. I'm going to let you guys go because I didn't want to keep you long, but I am grateful to those who came on tonight, and I hope you enjoyed my little ticker. And I'll be sending messages. And then next week I'm going to have a guest, and I'll be promoting that guest during the week. But it's going to be an elected official. It's going to be one of our judges. So, and I will put that up here this week, who I'm going to have. I'll have somebody on this coming week, and it'll be good to have a live guest on the show, and it'll be good for you, the audience, to ask questions and find things out. So I'm going to let you guys go tonight, and thank you very much for coming on the show tonight, for your opinions, for your comments, and I look forward to seeing you next week on Speak Your Mind with Larry Cox. Thank you, and good night.